Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another super cool radio interview. I'm your host, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm very excited because I have an awesome guest making his return to the podcast. He's the bassist and vocalist for the Midnight Devils. Please welcome Sam Spade.
Matthew Thomas, super cool radio. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm on this. This is so amazing. Thank you so much for having me. And how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I can't believe it's been over a year since our last interview. It's been about 6-7 months since I've seen you guys and rocked out with you guys. So
That's
it's been
insane.
a while.
I thought it was like last week we hung out and we talked.
But dude, it's always a fun time rocking out and hanging out with you guys. So it's always a party.
Was the last time I saw you the one where I almost took out your eye with a guitar pick? Or was that just every single solitary time that we see each other?
Well, you didn't hit my eye this time.
Okay.
But back in Fort Wayne at Stan's room and Pierre's.
Yes, yep, I remember correctly, yep.
But yeah, but it's always, something I've really noticed with you guys, and this is a later question, but I'm just going to dive into it now.
Yeah.
You guys always bring energy, and it's a party. How do you guys prepare and jump into a show? Because it's always a fun time.
Cool question, because it's sometimes you don't feel like it. At 3 or 4 in the afternoon when you're on tour and you've been on tour for weeks, and it's hard to even wrap your mind around okay, now I got to bring the party, I got to bring the house down. When there's a bunch of people there, it's really easy because you can kind of get charged up off the energy of the crowd. But when it's a slower night, on tour, man, it's hard and you got to really dig deep. But it's something that I especially, but with the band, we kind of train for, and we push ourselves to see physically how hard can I go. And if I train or if I prepare myself mentally, how hard can I go every single night? Even on the slow nights, I know I can still push myself and push the show and still have fun doing it. So if I can push myself, I know that I can push other people to have a good time regardless of the situation or where we're at or what we're doing.
Oh, for sure. And I think I've seen you guys, I believe, 3 times live, all in the state of Indiana, all around Indiana. And it's always a great time. And no matter where you guys are, the Hobart, it's a bigger theater, There's the Ruin, a smaller venue. But no matter how many people are there and how you guys are feeling, you guys always deliver a party.
And I think it's the story of the shows itself, because I just talking to you, I can remember the 3 or 4 shows that we hung out have all something ridiculous has happened almost every single time. I could take you through the days, the Hobart Theater with Yngwie, that was ridiculous. And the Ruin, that was pretty ridiculous too. That was a good time, but crazy. And even Pierre's room, that was cool. And I can remember each one of those nights. And I think that's the coolest thing with this band is that it's so much fun, and you kind of never know, you're going to pull up to the Midnight Devil show and you know that something insane is going to happen, that you're going to have these stories to talk about with your friends. I think that's the coolest thing and kind of the sell for me with the Midnight Devils.
Oh, it definitely is. Again, no matter where I've seen you guys, it's been fun. And I always want people to experience, because some shows, and no offense to anyone, but some shows I go to and it's just it was fine, it was cool, it was fine. But with you guys, I always have good memories, and I always have stories to tell other people.
Yep, and I have the same thing. So if we both are getting that, I think it's both of a win from the band's perspective, from the musicians, but also from people that watching the show, that come to the show. It's a win-win for everybody.
Oh, for sure. And it definitely it always makes me want to see you guys, because the set, you guys always, you change it up. And obviously with the last time I saw you had the newer music from So Hard It Hurts. So that was the first time hearing that live. That, I never know what to expect. And, sometimes I get hit in the eye.
And I think that's the cool thing, and we've always tried to stay that way, is that we are not a band that uses set lists. We don't use in-ear monitors. We don't use tracks of any sort. We are 100% a live rock and roll band, and that at the end of the day puts us in a different category than a lot of other bands and a lot of our contemporaries, because we are just playing that it's real live right there happening. It's not faked, and it's I don't know, it's something you can't duplicate. You can get close, but every night you can't duplicate it, and I think that's what brings the excitement, the most excitement.
Oh, definitely. And again, I'm no shade or hate to anyone, but I always prefer like bands with no tracks that just show up and rock. And
Right.
to me, it just feels it feels more real. It feels like you're really watching a performance.
Yep, I completely agree with you.
So, but I did want to talk about. So last year, you guys did, of course, a bunch of touring last
Yeah.
year. I believe it was your second tour of Australia at the end of last year. So
Third.
third
Third.
by about a third tour of
Third tour,
Australia.
yeah.
So how was that?
I got stories for days about Australia. When we basically, and I'll make it real short and sweet and simple, but we left. Sniper and I left Nebraska the beginning of mid-November, and it was kind of like it is now, cloudy, cold, terrible. And we landed in Australia like a day and a half later to sunshine, palm trees, and we're like, "Whoa, this is the coolest thing ever!" I mean, it took us 15 hours to get there on a plane, and we got there. And being our third time, we kind of knew what to expect. But all the shows that we did, people that we knew, our fans, our friends, our family, they all came out to support us, and that I think is one of the coolest things and a testament just to the way that people love rock and roll. And it's exactly what you said, is like they know that the Midnight Devils are bringing a good time with them, and for those that don't know, they're about to find out real fast. So the shows were incredible. The weather was beautiful. We rode in like a Greyhound bus, like with 50 rows of seats with two other bands. One was called Boulevard of Eyes from LA, and then one was called Awaken the Hate, and they're from Australia. But all three bands rode together in this giant bus, and it was like all the way up and down the coast, just like unsupervised chaos. I never laughed so hard, but also at the same time, I've never it's never been so difficult. Like, it was a difficult tour, we worked our butts off, but the fun that we had, like, I can look back now and just be like, man, I just being with Sniper and Jimmy throughout all that stuff was so cool. We had so much fun. The shows were great. We can't wait to come back. Our record label is from Australia, MR Records, so I guess our goal is to just kind of make it a thing that we do every single year.
Always cool, like with you guys, is just how much touring you guys do, and throughout different countries, and of course like returning to Australia. So like with your return to Australia for the third time, do you feel like you know what to expect? Like you're almost like a unlocal local kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely. And especially in places that we've hit now three times in a row, or cities that we've been to, we kind of know. Yeah, absolutely. Like, we know what to expect, and it doesn't throw us as hard as it did that first time. Like, the first time was complete culture shock. Now we're kind of getting used to it. We roll with the punches, but people they know that we're gonna be there. So it's kind of like you're almost greeted with like you're with welcome open arms. Like, oh, the Midnight Devils are back in Australia. This is great. So yeah, it's cool, and what an awesome feeling, like all the way around the world, And there's people there showing up with our shirts, and the people that have been there from the beginning that we started in Australia, and that's like a cool thing. That's exciting, and I'll tell you this: I wasn't with that tour. There was a lot of problems, and with every tour there's a million problems, right? And you just kind of overcome those problems, and that's what I love about touring, is that every day you're presented with these hurdles. When being an American band, and you can maybe kind of relate to this. Being an American band, I take great pride, right? And kind of being a punk rocker, I take even more pride. And I like doing. So we had some issues, and I didn't feel like we were being treated exactly the way that we should. And I feel like some people were pulling some strings and pulling some punches and doing some stuff that wasn't exactly up to the level, which kind of lit like a fire under my ass, right? And not that I wasn't already inspired before, but you're gonna put us even more in an underdog situation. Like, I'm gonna come out swinging. I'm gonna come out on top. I'm gonna come out fired up, because you don't mess with Americans, first of all, and you don't mess with the Midnight Devils. Well, it's like the two things you don't do. Like, we're the nicest dudes ever, but when you mess with us, like, we're gonna fucking snap. And it's what happened. And I think it really put the shows, like, how I imagine a normal tour going with great shows. These were kind of like fueled by fire and vengeance, and like, I was everybody, all three of us were just like, you want to put us down? Well, I'm gonna show you exactly how we feel about that. So every show we were just coming out swinging, and I thought that was a cool thing that we hadn't really done before.
So do you think that with obviously the added kind of challenges and roadblocks, that it made the shows more gratifying?
Oh, absolutely. Because it's like you could tell when you could tell, and I'm trying to like say it without, you know, bringing in people, but you could tell when they were trying to the people, the promoters, and the people were trying to kind of sabotage us, right? And they put us on early, or they put us on like just these bad time slots with no time. Like, oh, you guys only got 30 minutes, and every band plays for an hour after us. Like, I could tell when we were being sabotaged, and a lot of that was Jimmy and I and Sniper would talk about it, and we could bounce these feelings off of each other. And like, I'd be like, Sniper, I'm gonna snap, like, dude, I can't, I'm gonna fucking go crazy. And he's like, pull it together, and take that energy and that anger and put it into your performance. And that was really like, we would guard each other from doing something stupid, but it would push us to almost be a different band, like this just heated, man. And you know, with us, we're like very happy guys, we're having a good time, we're smoking weed, having a blast. But with these shows in Australia, push us down, push us down, push us down, like we're gonna come back just on fire and shove it down your throat and make you think that was a mistake, I shouldn't have done that.
No, I could definitely see that, but it's so funny to hear stuff like that because like you guys, like every time I see you, you guys are always so cool with me. You guys are always so, nice, professional, and then to like have other people, kind of sabotage you or kind of put you guys down. It's just kind of a shock to me because like you guys are just always so cool.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and that's what we try to do. And I think really, like, we've always been that way. Is like, be cool to the people that are cool around us, and if you're not cool to us, like, we're gonna fucking ram it down your throat, dude. Like, you don't understand what you've opened, especially when you mess with us three, or with the band, or with guys from the USA. So that's, I thought, was such a weird thing, is that we flew 10,000 miles or whatever all the way around the world to have promoters or people in Australia try and sabotage us or put us down or put like these hurdles to keep us from, it's almost like keep us from succeeding. Like, they didn't want us to do so well. They didn't want us to do our big show because it was gonna show people up or whatever. You know, it's so stupid. But I'll make you eat your words for doing that.
Oh, for sure, and for sure. I wish I would have seen those shows because
You would
I,
have
I
loved it,
would.
Matt. I'm telling you, dude. You would have been like, oh shit, this is awesome.
Oh, for sure. Well, so I'm kind of curious. So, like, touring internationally, like Australia, the UK, Japan, and all of that. So, do you guys like bring the balloons and throw them in the crowd, no matter like what country?
Yes, absolutely. Like, and that's part of it. Like, nobody wants to follow us because it's like, and which is cool. And I get it. And we're definitely not in competition with anybody. That's not what we do. Like, we're here to have the best time no matter any circumstance. But yes, every single show, the balloons, the horns, the $69 bills, they're all flying out in the crowd. And it changes from, you've seen it happen, where it changes from a band on stage and then the crowd to like this melding of everybody just going crazy and then having a blast. And then as soon as we're done, it all spills out onto the street and everybody's smoking weed out in the street. Like, it's cool. And I love that. And all other bands are just like, well, what happened here?
But my favorite time of it, because like, well, obviously I've seen you guys 3 times, and every time you guys close the set, it's always just it's a big party. Everyone's
Yeah.
having a great time. Everyone who wasn't into the show, they're into the show at this point. But my favorite was in Hobart with this nice theater. You're opening for Ingvang, and they have this all these chairs set out, and you just go in the crowd with all these balloons, and people were into it.
Yes. And we
So
just moved all the chairs around. We're like, fuck these chairs. Let's like, get them out of here. This is a rock show, not chairs. Before Ingve even went on.
yes, that was one of my favorite. Just the crowd just loving it too.
And here's the good one. So they put us on this cruise ship, and it was really cool. We were cruising through the Sydney Harbor, playing on this boat, and like the boat was rocking. Right? So you're playing like going, oh man, this is crazy. But they tried to screw us over earlier in the day, and like it pissed me off, right? So they already put us on early. They're like, you got 30 minutes to play. That's all. 30 minutes to play. I was like, cool. You don't know how hard I can go in 30 minutes. Like, so we did great. The crowd's going crazy. Nobody knew what to expect. We're blowing this cruise ship up, and I go to do the Memphis Mile thing where I stand up on the chair, but we're on this boat. Right? And I go and stand up on the chair, and I grab a hold of the rafters, and I slipped off, and I smashed right onto the monitor, like in front of everybody. Just boom. And they caught it on camera. We filmed the whole entire tour, but I thought it was the one time I thought I like got up and I'm like, I think I broke my arm. This is it right here. I broke my arm in the middle of the bay in Sydney, Australia. But I didn't feel anything, like we were going on adrenaline, and it was so cool. It happened. The crowd response was so great because it makes you real, They're like, that's real stuff that happens. And we caught it on video, and it's going to be in the next single music video that we got coming out. So look for that. It's a hilarious clip, but it happened. And man, every time, you never know, taking your life in your own hands.
Oh, for sure. So obviously, no broken arm.
No, nothing happened. I'm a little sore still, but they're like, it's one of those injuries you're just gonna have to live with. My wrists are sore, right? Good thing I'm right. I gotta go home and ice my wrists.
So kind of with it, so like performing like in the ocean and all of that. So like, how different of an experience compared to like a venue on land?
So different. Like I didn't even expect it. I guess I don't know what I was expecting. We got up on the thing and we started going. It's like you couldn't stand. You felt like you were completely drunk. You couldn't stand still, right? And so it's like the mic stand, and you'd sing, and you'd have to like counter the boat moving back and forth, and it was the whole 30 minutes. Like the whole time, you're just like, I don't even know what to say. It was so crazy, but the crowd's doing it too. So the whole boat's moving, it was great. It was really cool, and it was a moment that I'll never forget for sure. Because you could like look out the window and see the Sydney Opera House just passing by, right? You're like, whoa, that's awesome. That's great. A landmark, a huge landmark.
Such a cool, just vibe, atmosphere, horizon, and all of that. So definitely sounds like an awesome experience.
It was the first time the Midnight Devils played on water.
First, but not only time. Hopefully,
not the only. No, I'm that was always been my goal, is like to do the cruise ships, and that was the first one. I was like, this is a smaller than I thought cruise ship, but awesome still.
So I'm kind of curious. So talking about like some unique places you guys have played, shows and all of that. So I'm kind of curious, what's like the most unique or cool Australian venue you've ever performed at?
The great question. We've performed at in a venue that was like okay, I want to say it was 1,000 miles from Antarctica, right? So we were like the southernmost tip of Australia. It was very cool. Awesome place. On this tour, I remember playing, we played at like an American juke joint. Okay, so it's this really cool bar called Scotty's, and it's in a smaller town right on the coast called Seaford, Victoria. But we walked in, and it's like an old cafe, but everything's like modeled on the USA. So it's like we walked in and we felt like we were exactly at home. Like there, you walk in, there's a little cafe, and then we walk into the venue, and there's all this Elvis stuff and all this cool Americana and antiques and great rock and roll like artifacts, and then a stage and a PA, and it was all, and everybody showed up. Which was the crazy thing. I was like, nobody's gonna show up to this thing, surely. And then everybody came, and it was just this big party in what looked like an American rock club. And I thought that was like a really cool thing to remind us about home and how awesome America is. But not only that, how awesome just this style of music is, and how it touches everybody no matter where you're from.
Oh, for sure. And definitely what I really like about you guys is it's just good rock and roll, like
yeah.
It's something that can, people can connect with and all of that. But I'm kind of curious. So like with the like American venue in Australia, so like just like the whole thing just looked like, like something you'd see like an American restaurant kind of thing.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's like those tin signs all over the walls, and they're serving American, like a more American style food. And it just reminded me of an exactly the same place, like that you would see in America. Just really cool, almost grandpa's basement style warehouse, like a big shed with a bunch of cool stuff in it. Yeah.
Hey, that is so cool.
Yeah. And they're like, we modeled it. They went to America, and like they went down Route 66, and they kind of modeled their venue off of the places that they saw from that.
Oh, nice. That's the cool stuff. And like, even just going to a different country, and you can still like, there's like a slice of like, United States there as well.
Yep. Exactly.
Kind of curious. So, last year, when I interviewed you back in actually 2024, you guys performed in, Norway, UK, Japan, Australia, just similar, to what we're talking about now. But I'm kind of curious, do you guys plan at some point to return to Japan?
That is the goal. So, I mean, talking to you today, I was thinking like, what are we going to talk about? Well, we got a brand new tour that's going to kick off here in February, which we're very excited about. We'll be coming back to your neck of the woods, so just get ready. All right, you're the first one to kind of figure it out. I'm working on it last night, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it back to Indiana, so don't even worry about that. But that'll be in February, and we're gonna be out touring with our friends Bad Marriage, which I think is like a
I've interviewed them, yeah.
I think it's a brilliant combination. We're good friends with them, and it's going to be, I think, too much fun. That should basically be the name of the tour. Is Too Much Fun Tour, but that is the goal for the USA. We got a couple more coming like later in the summer in the USA, and then in the UK we got one in the spring, like a tour in the spring, and then our goal, like our I think our whole entire goal was to kind of go to those places, those uncharted places, and those places that bands don't really go to. So a long answer to your question is yes. Like I reached out to our Japanese promoter, and I was like, I think we want to do something uh later in the year though. Like closer to, so we're planning like another Australian tour, and I think we're going to try and plan Japan and maybe Korea and some, hopefully, like that's the plan. It's kind of go to those places never been before.
Oh, for sure, and definitely, I hope it happens. I saw like some photos of you guys in Japan. I know we talked about it in our last interview, and it just seems like it was obviously so cool. And just again talking about with rock and roll and the style of music that people still connect to it no matter what country you guys go to.
Yes, and that was the great binder, almost like the thing that brought us all together, and that we could all, I mean, we could all not necessarily agree on, but we could all come together, for one thing, and it's that style of music, or not even style of music. It's just music and creativity and rock and roll, and this beautiful thing that we all love so much, and that's, you're 100% right, and I feel that every single day, because going into these different countries and these places, like, you don't know how we're gonna be receptive. We don't know, like, we're kind of weird Americans that dress crazy, but it's the one common denominator that as soon as that starts happening, and the music and the that excitement, everything is kind of forgotten, and we're just all caught up in that celebration and that party and that good feeling, and it's that one thing that transcends languages and transcends anything. I don't know if I told you or not, but when we went to Japan, at one of the shows in Kobe, Japan, they recorded our entire set on a CD, right? And so I grabbed the CD and I put it in my bag, and like a year later, I got the CD out and I was like, oh, here we go. Like now we're gonna put out a Midnight Devils live from Japan, live from Kobe, Japan. I think it's gonna be our next release, and I've listened to the album. We've been working on it, Sniper and I. It sounds awesome. It's exciting. It's funny. You can hear people singing in Japanese. Like it's cool. So I think like to kind of capture that time that we had there, we're gonna put this live album out, and I hope it comes out this year. I think it's kind of our goal.
That would be so cool. I'm the first person to pre-order that. I want that because I bet, like, again, just seeing you guys live, like I can already kind of tell what the sound and experience is going to be, but
Yeah.
I want to listen to that so bad.
It's funny. It's funny, the stuff, because it's like we left all the mistakes in and all of this stuff, and you can just hear us laughing and having a blast, and you can hear the people having a blast. Most of all, like that's a cool thing. Like our first time there, we learned a little Japanese, and we were talking in Japanese, and the stuff that people don't know, that when you listen to this record, is that they opened up and were so welcoming to us, and were so nice to us, and we're just this incredible, and that kind of shines on the record, as if you really listen deep, you can kind of hear the Japanese people back there, the fans and the other everybody else. Like it's really cool, it's funny, and I can't wait to have this released and put out so everybody can enjoy it. It's like you went to a Midnight Devil show, but in your ears every single time.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The first like live release for the band.
Yeah, and it's totally like, it's the Kiss idea. That's exactly what it is. Like we didn't mean to follow it like that, but that's the way it's gonna kind of go, I think.
Oh, for sure. What I really like about you guys is your live show. Like I love the CDs, I love the albums, but to
Mhm.
me, it's just the live show is just a step above. Like you guys like really
Yeah,
bring the energy, you make the songs come to life.
yeah, and that's what I noticed listening to them. I'm like, these are really fun and really exciting, and it's kind of got the old school, those songs from the first couple records. But then, like you said in the beginning, it has a couple of the songs from the new record, and hearing "Get Laid," played for like the very first time ever live, which was great, and kind of doing that. How are the Japanese people gonna sing "Gonna Get Laid Tonight"? But we figured it out. We all figured it out together, and it's all caught on tape. And I think it's gonna be so cool.
Oh, for sure. Well, I'll definitely be on the lookout for that once, obviously, it is released and
Yeah,
available. 'Cause I really want to listen to it. Did got a few other things before we close out this interview,
no
but
problem.
Sam, I love chatting with you. I love hanging out with you. Just it's always a fun time. Like, it feels like a real conversation. I don't really have to, like really ask like
Right.
really funny questions. We just have a great time. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always great talking to you. I'm glad you hit me up.
Of course, well, you're one of my favorites to interview. So I was like, this season, I really want to bring back some people who I've really enjoyed, that my audience have really enjoyed. So
Yeah.
I got a few new questions since the last
All
time
right.
we talked, so I'm curious for you. So not Midnight Devils related, but I'm curious for you. So I did see in a recent post you do have some new ink.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm curious. So what was your first ever tattoo and your most recent tattoo?
I am a hurting unit currently. I got a giant tattoo on my chest with 2 days ago. So that was I'm just like it is just miserable. And I know I can't complain because I was the one that chose to do it, right? So that's my most recent one. I can see if I can kind of pull it up here. This is I just cleaned it,
Wow.
but that's the one I just got.
That looks amazing with the color and all that. That looks
Yeah.
amazing. How,
So
how long a session was that?
that was like a 5.5 hour session. And I had to sit there, and it was like my tattoo guy, he's been my guy for 15 years. I've been going to the same dude for 15 years, and he's a punk rocker. He's really into black metal, Norwegian black metal. So we just kind of sit there in a shop in the small town in Nebraska, and he just works, right? No matter how painful it is, no matter how bad it is, like he just works. So with this, he doesn't use any numbing cream or nothing. And you can't tap out because he'll call you a pussy. Like you gotta go to the limit with him. And so with this one, he took me to the limit. That was like the hardest one. Like I barely made it through. My first tattoo is the Kiss logo, and it's on my ass. All right, it's on my right butt cheek. I got it to hide from my parents when I was 21. My parents threatened, like all throughout. They're like, if you get a tattoo, we're gonna scrub it off with steel wool. You know, son of mine is gonna be a tattooed freak. I was like, oh man, but I really want a tattoo, and so I got one. I thought, let's hide it. I'll hide it from my parents. They'll never know. And I put it on my ass, and they didn't know for like years until I got I like I don't know. The story is just it's ridiculous, but so back when I was in my 20s, I used to drink, and go crazy, and I overdid it, of course, like you would assume, and I ended up kind of in a coma from drinking too much, and I had to confront my demons and go through this whole thing, rehab and all that 9 yards. But when I came out of the coma, my dad, he was the first one I saw, and I'll never forget it. He leans over to me. He's like, son, I offered the nurse $500 to cut your hair while you were in the coma, and she wouldn't do it. I was like, well, that's good. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. That's absolutely ridiculous. And then he goes, what's the deal with the Kiss tattoo on your ass? And I was like, oh, they found out. Like, they found out while I was in a coma that I had a tattoo. And I thought after that, it's pretty much they know now, and I went crazy after that. And so now I'm closing in on like roughly 30, I think.
I'm glad the nurse said some ethics and didn't cut your hair while you were
All right.
That would have been something though. But I'm kind of curious. So, I mean, with your tattoos and everything, like, you got any like what's like the next one planned, or are you gonna take a break after the long one?
Oh yeah, like I always think the tattoos. Do you have any?
No, I do not actually.
So they're like a weird thing where you forget how bad it is after time. When time goes on, you forget like how much pain, how much suffering that I actually went through, and you're like, we should really get another tattoo. And then you get one, and you're like, why did I do that? That was the worst idea I ever had. Like I'm miserable for weeks on end, and now it's peeling, and oh, it's gross. So right now I'm in the process where I'm like, I don't think I need another tattoo for a while, right? But talk to me in 6 months. I bet you my mind will change.
Yeah, next time I see you guys live, I'll ask.
Yeah. Right now, I'm like, never again will I get a tattoo. That's it. I'm done.
All right, so before we close this out, I got a very fun question that I've just started asking my guests. So I'm curious for you. So if you got into a bar fight and there's four people who want to fight you, which three musicians throughout history, anyone you would like, dead or alive, would you want in your corner to back you up?
To back me up.
Yeah, to help you
Oh,
out with the fight.
it's 100% Sniper and Jimmy. Like that's 100%. There's nothing. Those are the baddest dudes. Like that they're like uh ex military, no holds barred. Those are the guys that you want. And I mean, there's a lot of other guys. I'm trying to think like who would I want? Who will go to the edge? And I don't know many that would, like I know Sniper and Jimmy would probably go to the edge and they'd be all right with just hanging on the edge for a little while. Like they don't care. I was never in the military, but those guys were. And my two best friends, when they start you've been there, when they start telling stories, like you're just like, whoa, these guys have seen some things, right? But I
Oh, yeah.
think that's part of what helps us as a band, and knowing that those guys have gone through that kind of not necessarily torture, but those hard circumstances, those hard situations, makes me think that like I don't have a lot to complain about. So when stuff gets difficult with us on the Australian tour, when it's hot, we got nowhere to sleep, we're hungry, like I know that I can't really be the first one to complain because those guys have, did it fighting for our freedom in Iraq and all that. Like they have the right to complain first. I'll complain last, but they never do. So then I never complain either. So then we just end up like telling jokes and laughing about stuff. And that's the coolest thing with this band is like hanging out, the hangout ability. Like we just want to hang out and smoke weed and talk about Van Halen and talk about guitars, and like we can just continue to have that conversation for years now. That's all it is. It's just, oh, we're just gonna talk about Van Halen and Kiss and the Ramones and smoke weed and talk about how great these records are and how good a guitar player. It's like that's just it. We're just nerds. We just want to hang out.
And it's always every time I see you guys at any show, we always hang out for like hours. Like it is
Yeah.
always such a fun time. And like I talk to you, I talk to Sniper, I talk to Jimmy, and it's always like always very different conversations, but it's always just a great time.
And the cool thing is, I come home with all your the super cool radio swag, and my little kid, the 8-year-old, runs around here and will wear the hat all the time, right? All the time he wears the hat. I'm like, Matthew Thomas, right there, super cool radio, sweet.
I appreciate it, man. No, you
Yeah,
you guys are always good with me. I know in Hobart we had some issues, some people there, so I'm glad you guys helped me out with that. So I appreciate it.
yeah, all the time, anytime.
Oh, for sure. Well, again, I very much appreciate it. Just you guys have always been really good to me.
Hey, and it's gonna happen again in what, 2 months or so.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. No matter where you guys are, it's gonna be a party. I'm hopefully gonna try to bring some friends too, because I want everyone to experience a Midnight Devil show.
Perfect. And I think by then we got a brand new single that's going to come out just in time for the tour, a new single, a new video. So we're really going to be pushing that. But like I said, I bought a camera right before the Australian tour started, like a little mini camera, and I put it in my leather jacket and I took it with me everywhere we went, 24/7 on the plane, and I filmed everything. And so that's what's going to be the next video, the next single is our entire tour, the 10-day tour or our 15-day tour, but condensed down to 3.5 minutes.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I've always really wanted to, visit Australia. I haven't yet, but from your experience and just other people I've interviewed and all of that, it sounds like a really cool place.
Yeah, you would love it. I think especially just the people there are really great. They're crazy as hell. We got a lot of great friends there and a lot of people that went to bat for us, especially our label mates and everything like that. They've been so great to us, and I think it's a cool place that I love going to. I think it's amazing.
Oh, for sure. So now, as we're starting to close out this interview, so I do before we talk about the plans for 2026, I do want to highlight. So you guys will be performing in New York City, coming up at
Yes.
Glam Metal Fest, coming up, I believe, in June. So how's it feel to be part of this event?
Huge. We almost had a New York City show last year, and I was really pushing for it because of all the places that we played: Tokyo, LA, Sydney, London, all these places. We've never played in New York City before. Now we're playing in New York City, not only playing, breaking our New York City cherry, but we're doing it on a big festival, like one of the first ever glam rock festivals on the in New York City. I think the coolest thing is that what it shows to me is that there's a calling and a want and a need and a lot of great young glam rock or heavy metal kind of throwback. I don't throwback's not the right word. A lot of great glam rock party bands that are starting, and young guys that are interested, young guys and girls that are interested in this style of music. And I go, that's it, man. Like, we're on to something. It's kind of like, I don't know that it's coming back around, but it's gaining traction, and people are starting to really go, I like this kind of music. Like, let's keep going with this. And I think that's the coolest thing, the most exciting thing. We've been doing this. I mean, you and I have been doing this for what, 10 years now? Close to, Matt. So
yeah.
so for people to kind of start getting excited about that, especially in the biggest city in the world, like the greatest city in the world, I think it's a really cool thing. And for us to be a part of it, it's such an honor. And to break our cherry debuting in New York City, I really think New York City is the key to kind of unlocking even more of the world for the Midnight Devils.
Oh yeah, well, I think they say like everything runs through New York City. So I mean,
Yep,
no matter where you are, you know, you got to go for New York City.
that's exactly it. And that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, for sure. Well, I hope that goes very well for you guys. First stereo New York City debut. Hope it goes smoothly for you guys.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So now, as we close this out, we talked about a lot about the upcoming plans, but I'm kind of curious. So, like, what's kind of the rest of 2026? Like, you know, what's everything looking like?
It's just gonna stay as kind of as busy as possible, and like we're still on the cycle, the tour cycle, the album cycle for So Hard It Hurts, which was released in July of 2024. So we'll finish out with our new single this year, the third single, which will be Left Leanin' off the new album. That'll be the third single, and we'll kind of wrap up our tour cycle with that and start working towards a tour cycle with the live album. And then Sniper and I have begun working on songs for our fourth album. So it's just kind of like we'll just keep going and just like stay as busy as we possibly can, but kind of releasing these cool things that we're excited about. And really, I think there has to be a focus not only on playing shows and having a good time, but in our downtime being as creative as possible and writing and writing and writing and writing and accomplishing our goals, even if they're still here at home, you know, whether in Nebraska, New Orleans, but there has to kind of be that give and a take. And so I think I really have put a big focus on staying creative and staying in that moment, in that mindset of writing down and observing and seeing what's happening, and capturing all the magic that is the tour and is the Midnight Devils, but then writing it down and taking it, you know, getting it ready for the fourth album.
You guys are one of the bands that I always look forward to seeing what you guys do next, because it's just so cool to see, like, you know, kind of where you guys started to where you guys are now, and, you know, a not very long span of time either. You guys have been really progressing, so it's always cool just to see what you guys are gonna do next.
Yeah, thank you. And I always think that, like, what are we gonna do that's you know what you kind of got to do, but what can we do that's outside the box and really is going to make people go, wow, they did that. That's pretty crazy. Like, we never would have thought they would have done that. That's why we kind of think, like, how the Midnight Devils are supposed to be crazy. We're supposed to be ridiculous, and it's supposed to be fun. And that's at the end of the day, that's what this is all about.
Oh yeah, and again, as I've been talking about throughout the interview, you guys accomplish that. You guys always, it's a party, it's fun, it's always that experience and memories.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. But as we're closing this out, so I do ask this always time just to, you know, promo, where can people find you? So where are the best places to find you guys online?
It's super easy, and we're very active on all our social medias. TheMidnightDevils.com is our website. It has our all of our tour dates and has our videos and all of our merch. So we got a brand new 7-inch that just came out. Is a pink and green single with Shock the World and Get Laid. It's a brand new artwork and everything. That's available on our website. Very limited edition, 300 copies only. But I'm super proud of it because we don't have a 7-inch. And I think they're like the coolest thing ever. So just, you know, I probably maybe only have 100 copies left, maybe. So they're going fast. And I think once they're done, they're done. Also, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify. We're pretty much everywhere, but we do answer all of our messages and ship everything from here in Nebraska, all points in between.
Oh yeah, and get some pink packages, you know, sent all across everywhere.
The guy at the post office got to be like, oh my gosh.
He's like, this guy again? Well, I will leave all the links for the Midnight Devils in the description of this podcast. Please check out and support them. I highly encourage everyone to see the Midnight Devils live. I guarantee you will have a good time.
Thank you, man. I love that hat, by the way. Where'd you get that?
Actually, it was a gift, actually.
From
one of my good friends. So it's actually, I don't know if you know wrestling that well, but
yeah,
it's a replica Shawn Michaels hat from like 1996,
dude.
6.
Yes.
So yeah, but I thought it went really well with my Midnight Devil shirt that I had.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
love
it's
Shawn
actually,
Michaels.
and if you see, like, it's got zebra print on it. It looks.
It's great, dude.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
oh yeah, it
That's
is.
fantastic. I love that. If
It
you
is.
see, I got the Ric Flair robe in the background over here.
Oh yeah. Oh nice. Is it? No, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
Sam Spade Ric Flair robe, but yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You wore that last time I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Nice.
So Jimmy and I are like huge wrestling fans as well. We watched like while we were overseas in Australia, we watched all like the John Cena stuff and everything like that. It was cool.
Nice. Yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, as I have a wrestling show, podcast now that I started with a friend of mine, and I've kind of started to get back into it with everything.
Yeah,
I was kind of just sort of watching. Now I'm actually trying to watch more, and just enjoy. I actually started going to some local shows here in my area.
that's
Just for
awesome.
fun. And honestly, they've been such a good time too.
Yep, I love it.
Well, but Sam, thank you again for hanging out, chatting with me here on Super Cool Radio. It is always a pleasure.
Dude, it's great talking to you too. Thanks for having me, and thank you for like all the years of being a great friend.
Of course, well, likewise as well. As I said, you guys have been good with me, and I support people who support me, and our friends and all of that. It's two ways here in Super Cool Radio.
We'll see you in just a few weeks, and I'm gonna package them up right here right now. But I'll put one of the new vinyls in the mail for you.
Well, I
For
appreciate it.
you, no problem.
I appreciate it. Well, my neighbors will be listening to the music as well.
Perfect.
For Sam Spade and the Midnight Devils, I'm your host, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Super Cool Radio. And remember, stay frosty.